Welcome to the Gamescape, everybody. My name is Jarek, and today we're back in Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. This is episode 140 of our playthrough. And in our previous episode, we started off with Arushale coming to us and asking us to join her in her dream one more time. She had a new idea. Perhaps if she tried to sleep while she was in her dream, she might be able to go deeper. But she needed someone to protect her while she was sleeping from the shadows of her nightmares. Someone who understood where she'd come from and what a monster she used to be, and who wouldn't be frightened of what they saw. We agreed and joined her inside the dream. She fell asleep and the shadows of her nightmares started coming to us. The first one was actually talking to us and explained that they would continue to haunt her and destroy her confidence, and that no matter what she did, they would always be there because she would always remember the horrible things that had brought them about, right? And I told the dream that we would help her make new, better dreams, but it said it didn't matter. They'd corrupt those too. But then a new shadow appeared, the memory of the priestess that Arushale had killed, that led her to realize what a monster she was and put her on the path towards redemption. That shadow basically told us that she needed someone who was going to love her, and Valric stepped up and said he would do that, that he did do that. And then Arushale caught that last part as she woke from her sleep and asked if he meant it, and said that we did. So after that, nothing else really too much was said about it, although Arushale was quite a bit happier. We did begin the hunt for the Nahindrian crystal for the storyteller. When Shamira started talking about the mines and finding the crystal, I kind of discounted the mines in the Nexus because they were supposedly all mined out, hence why they were abandoned. But after some keystone copying around for a good amount of time, searching the abandoned mine shaft, and then even a return trip to the Midnight Fane, finally went back down into the mine a second time, and there we found a place where the storyteller's compass started buzzing. There was a camouflage tunnel of the mine that we hadn't seen before, and it was a bit off to the side of that first room when you descend into the mine there. And so after a bit of a winding tunnel, we found the Nahindrian crystal. And when we took it, then we had to end up fighting several carnivorous crystal monsters. We've seen them a few times before. They emit this low subsonic hum that disrupts people. But we managed to take care of them and got the crystal back to the storyteller here. It turns out that the Nahindrian crystals are the crystallized blood of Alenithia, Lady of Harpies. She and Nocticula fought long ago, and then Nocticula won. And rather than going to the Rift of Repose, where all the other vanquished demon lords go, Alenithia's essence. I think I was saying that wrong, by the way, the last time. Alenithia is her name. Alenithia's essence was trapped in her body, which Nocticula then used to build the island of Alenithia that Elutionera is built on. So that's where we've left off, and I think Shamira might be interested in this information. The only thing that I don't really know about is the journal entry for this particular part of the mission mentions maybe not telling her. And so I don't know really if that's a choice that's going to come up. If we don't go back to her, we're going to fail this part of the mission. So we have to go back to her. But I think maybe what that means is the opportunity to basically tell her, you know what, we know something you don't know and we're not going to say, is going to appear. And we have to decide if that's what we want to do or not. So I guess we'll figure that out when we get there. But before we leave, I want to get the storyteller one more time here. And I want to see if he can build anything for us. It doesn't look like it. So there's nothing here. Maybe. We're still missing this. And I don't remember what we need for this. I thought we had everything because he needed a couple of... What did he need? He needed a couple of like a couple of magical hides, which we have. We have the cloak. We have... I think we have like all the demon blood and everything. Let's get out of here. Let's see if our journal tells us what he needs for this. So that would be one of these that's not marked with a hourglass. That's nameless ruins. That's Finian. So we're looking for blank ones. Storm's Peak we need to do when we get back. Pursuit of the Past. The storyteller seeks pages. Yep, we've been giving him those. Restoring an ancient cloak. Storyteller is ready to revive an ancient artifact. For this, he will need 5 vials of magical essence, so we probably don't have that. 2 bars of cold iron, 2 vials of demon blood, 3 hides of magical creatures. I think we don't have 5 magic essence. I think we have not quite that many. That might be what we're missing. Magic essence is here. We've only got 3, so we need 2 more of those. We do have the hides though, and we do have the demon's blood, and we have the cold iron, I'm sure. Yeah, we have 7 cold iron, so we're just looking for more magic essence now at this point. So perfect. 2 more of those, as a matter of fact. All right, so that is that. Let's get out of here. And let's go talk to Chimera. Okay, so we have to get across the bridge, then probably we'll just portal over to Chimera so we don't have to go running all the way down to the flesh markets. We could fight that person if we wanted to, but I don't. No need for pointless battles here. Okay, we need to go to the Harem of Ardent Dreams. Okay, here we are. Oh, bloop. All right, is there any other buffing up that we want to do? Do we have everybody?
You're a good person. Yeah. I like you.
She could do like Pulse Life probably. That wouldn't hurt.
Are we ready to move out?
She's already got Mirror Image. Go. Oh, she had it, I thought. Does she have Mirror Image? I think she does. Yeah, she sure does. I'm gonna get that going on her.
I will prove my worth.
Baruchle, you've got Hurricane Bow running. And you've got anything else? No. This is a minute per level. She's like a 12th or 15th level caster, so we'll get that going.
Anything new?
We will win this
She's
war.
pretty much good to go. This is 10 minutes per level. No reason not to have that going. Valric can get a minute per level. I think he's only a 1st level caster though. Out of curiosity, because I don't use it in a fight, so let's just see how long that ends up being. Okay, so Valric's shield is 1 minute. Yep. Maybe not really worth it exactly, but that's all right. All right, well, we're pretty good, pretty buffed up here. Rushli, do you have something negative going on here? No. Okay, good. Okay. Out here, just in case this turns into a scrap. After she notices you, Chimera gives you a displeased frown and irritably asks, "You again? Have you no friends that you must keep coming here to chat with me? Or perhaps, though I find this extremely hard to believe, you are not completely useless and have found something of interest for me?" Yeah, I've completed your task. Chimera ignores you, looking somewhere else, but in your mind you hear her angry hiss. "So speak if you have, but use your mind instead of your flapping lips. Your mind." Hand of the Inheritor says, "I know that you've done much to win Chimera's favor, but my heart still tells me that helping her would lead to evil. Forget everything I've told you. We'll find another way to complete our mission. It's wrong to fight evil by increasing the power of another evil. Reject the promises of the Ardent Dream and we'll leave this place before we betray ourselves to our ideals. And our ideals." Okay, so we have a choice to make here. We can follow his advice. And we can basically... we can tell her off nice and loud. We can tell her privately that we don't serve her. Or we can tell her the truth. He's got a point. At this point, you know, it's like, I don't know if telling her what the crystals are and how to use them is a great idea. It doesn't seem like it is. So, do we out her to everyone? If we do that, she's not going to have any choice but to attack us for sure. If we do this, she might, like the journal entry says, might respect that. But this one, yeah, this one right here leads to us getting into a giant fight. I mean, it has to. She has no choice but to punish that kind of insolence, especially from a mortal, right? So I think maybe what we do is we do this, and we say, we don't serve you, and we're not going to tell you anything. For better or worse, here we go. Shamira gives you a venomous smile, and you can read your sentence in her eyes. That's right, you don't serve me. You are an outsider, and by Nocticula's will, no one can lay a finger on you. But who will stop me? Shamira's magic crashes over your will. Failed a will check. Probably had no chance. 27. We did. We just rolled badly. In the heat of Shamira's magic, your mind melts like wax. Your knowledge of Nahindrian crystals surfaces as the demon strips out of your memories as efficiently and ruthlessly as a hunter dressing a carcass. Suddenly, the heat subsides, banished by a gust of mountain wind, cool and clear. The hand of the Inheritor's voice thunders inside your head. Hold on, champion. Together we will overpower the magic of this fiend. Fight to the end. You can't break me. Shamira brings more force to bear against you. A vein pulses on her temple. We failed again. Are you kidding? We rolled +6 skill value. Why did we only get a +6? That must be just Valric's will. Well, we had no chance of making that one. In the heat of Shamira's magic, your mind melts like wax. Your knowledge of the Nahindrian crystals surfaces as the demon strips out your memories. This is the same as before. Finally, she smiles with satisfaction. I've learned everything I need. Now get out. The demons in the crowd murmur and exchange whispers. You hear disappointment in their voices. It seems most of them wished you to emerge victorious from this confrontation. Not the arrogant Shamira, whom no one has humbled in a very long time. They look at you with respect, even fear. After all, they would never dare contradict the ruler of the harem. One demon covertly gives you a thumbs up and then points at Shamira and makes an obscene gesture indicating her wanton ways. Okay, well, that wasn't great.
You are most curious, mortal.
You hear in your head a female voice, melodious, low, and sensual. You're rather intriguing yourself.
There's a reason they call me Nocticula, the Lady in Shadow. My words and thoughts are shrouded in darkness.
So I finally have your attention?
Yes, your arrival in Alashanira was quite impressive. Rumors have reached me even here, behind my locked gates and my wall of valiant guards. Rumors of a remarkable Galarian taking my Alashanira by storm.
Okay, well, I'm asking for an audience.
You have my permission to enter the palace. Go there and wait. I will arrive when the time is right. Until then, you will be taken care of by one of my servants.
Well, that sounds like a fight. All right, guys, I'm going to get us over to the Nocticula's palace. It's a bit of a run from here, so I will get us there, and I will bring you back when we're there. We'll see you guys in just a minute. Okay, guys, here we are at Nocticula's palace. I've spent a little bit of time buffing up the party, making sure that we're ready for whatever fight's awaiting us here, because I am certain there is a fight awaiting for us, just from what she said and how she said it. So we're going to go ahead and get moving in there. Let's see what happens. House of Silken Shadows. Here we come. Okay, here we are inside. We've got lots of little things we can read. There's a guard.
You're a good person.
It
I
went
like
splendidly.
The ink on the page is still wet. The book tells of a murderous massacre committed by the Lady in Shadow among the Coloxus demons of the Midnight Isles. It seems it happened quite recently.
Anything new?
Okay, there is. I thought there was something over here. Tall shelves are stuffed with countless books and scrolls praising the Lady in Shadow's many deeds. Some tomes are old and threadbare, others are new and in mint condition. Okay.
You are my favorite aide.
Let's get the party moving forward here. We're going to
Trust
have
in yourself.
Ember keep cackling here. Our Lady in Shadow, the Queen of the Midnight Isles, Lady Nocticula, Demon Lord of the Dark and of Darkness and Lust. Okay, we're just going to keep going until somebody tells us to stop.
Greetings.
Oh, it's a Rilu Vorlesh. A stately shadow comes toward you. In its hand, a small mirror sparkles and shimmers with an unsettling light. Greetings, Valric.
Greetings, Commander.
There's Suture. The Dretch called Suture grins as he shifts clumsily from foot to foot on a crude attempt at courtly bow.
Lady Arilu, allow me to express my deepest admiration of your work, and may I just ask,
Under Arilu's imperious gaze, Ninio stutters and awkwardly falls silent. Okay, just looking at our options here. I came to speak with Nocticula. Could be rude to her. What are you doing here? We could ask her. We could say we have a lot of questions. Let's ask her what she's doing here with Suture.
The Suture is my servant. I did not expect him to rush into the abyss after me, but I have allowed him to remain with me while I take care of some business. However, you asked what I am doing here. I bring answers. You have walked a long path, one where shadows constantly flicker at the edge of your vision, and questions multiply like flies above carrion. It is time for answers. At least, some of them.
Rilu lifts her mirror and you fall into this cold, shimmering depths.
Day 16, Aridus 4715. Experiment, transformation. Subject, let's skip that. Objective, to embed the essence of a Nahindrian crystal in the soul of the subject. Expected result. The essence will coalesce with the subject's soul, which will ready itself for total transformation, triggering the concomitant powers. The time has come to put my plan into action.
All right, so that's Valric when he fell down into the rift.
You are my creation. Your power was my gift. Now you know.
Arilu stares at you, her gaze unrelenting, probing. The witch is silent for a long time. When she speaks, her voice is unreadable, betraying no emotion. Let's say I believe you. Why did you need to do all of this?
You are asking the right questions, but the time has not yet come.
Ah, such special memories. Remember the laboratory, do you? I told you back then. Go on, look around. See all the ones Lady Aurelia worked on. Here with us is definitely the place for you.
The Dretch grins in satisfaction. The unseen angel does not speak, but his silence seems to thunder in your ears.
Your power is of the same kind as that of Nulkineth, Jerrybeth, and the other demons that you have met. The power of the Nahindrian crystal dissolved into the blood lies within your soul. I have already hinted at this to you once before, when I left the essence along with the lexicon of paradox in my old laboratory, and ordered the suture to make sure the gift found its way into your hands. But there is more. Do you remember when you were taken to Canobris with a wound that would not heal? Do you remember how Terendelev apparently healed you? That was merely an illusion. The dragon was only able to temporarily dull the pain. In fact, it was I who saved you, when I came to you in the caves and implanted a crystal within you. No, saved is not the right word. Your wound is still not healed. That is why your wound weeps blood from time to time, every drop of which burns your enemies.
As if to confirm her words, blood begins to seep from the wound on your chest. Eerie flames seem to dance within the crimson drops.
This is pure essence of Nahindrian crystal. My invention is far superior to the crystals used by Xanther, which were barely refined at all. It will give you new strength, and help you to overcome the wound that still slumbers within your soul. Take it. Take it, and you will see that this is the very power that has lived in you since the Battle of Canobris.
Hey, are we doomed too? The chief shared his power with us, so does that mean we're cursed as well? How long do we have left? Say it ain't so. I'm too young to die so tragically.
Okay, that's not going to work. You need to tell me everything first.
Very well, then. Ask your questions, and I will answer.
Aurelia winces slightly, but quickly regains her composure. What is this wound in my soul, and how dangerous is it?
It was my mistake. My failure. I failed to... The tale is too long to recount here. Your wound is a reflection of the world wound, in a way. It is very dangerous, even if you do not yet realize it. It is not a disease, but rather an abscess, which will one day burst and kill you. It cannot fully be healed until the world wound is healed. No doubt you have felt this affliction on several occasions. It awakens when you use your power. It makes you sense more strongly what mortals call the corruption of the abyss. Until the world wound is healed, you will have no peace.
Okay, so you've been following me.
Like a witch in a fairy tale, I watched over you from birth. From before that, even. And I kept detailed notes. You were chosen and prepared for a special destiny.
Well, that's special.
I am pleased to see that you still wear them. I enchanted them specially to protect you from danger. I am glad you found my gift useful. Aside from this, I helped you, even when you were unaware of my presence. I saved you and your unfortunate companions when you fell into the crevice in Canobris. In the Grey Garrison, it was I who distracted Minago to allow you to approach the Wardstone. And in Dresden, I appeared under the guise of Yoniel to guide you toward the Sword of Valor. And I also left you a present in my old laboratory, and told the suture to see that you received it. I knew that sooner or later you would find your way there. That place exerts a powerful pull.
All right. Well, I mean, as it turns out, you helped me thwart the plans of your masters, Baphomet and Discari.
They are not my masters. They are a resource.
So why was that whole ploy with the lab necessary? You were ready to sacrifice your servant for it.
You always have to sacrifice something. I wanted you to go to the laboratory to see with your own eyes what I had been doing and what I am capable of, so it would be easier for you to accept the truth. The laboratory is the place where I prepared your ascent. And the Suture was the only one who I could trust to execute my plan and explain everything. After all, he too once experienced rebirth at my hands. And that is why I was willing to risk his life.
Look at that, I actually provoked a reaction. That's the second time your expression has changed when you've mentioned the Suture. Now I know the architect of the world wound is capable of feeling remorse, if only when she sends her Dretch minion into a deadly mission.
I see I am not the only one making observations and drawing conclusions. You are analyzing me. That is commendable.
Arilu's face remains impassive, but she is silent for too long. Its blankness becomes almost uncanny. Okay, so tell me about the Nahindrian crystals. Give it to me all.
Nahindrian crystals are formed from the solidified blood of demon lords.
Knew that.
Their properties are not well known, even among the inhabitants of the Abyss. And there are reasons for this. Acquiring the blood of a dead demon lord is very difficult. After a demon lord dies, their body is instantly absorbed into the Rift of Repose. Only the Lady in Shadow knows how to kill them in a way that allows her to preserve the bodies of her fellow lords and transform them into a solid state. That means that Nahindrian crystals cannot be obtained anywhere other than the Midnight Isles. Or rather, it was impossible until recently, when I managed to experimentally obtain a crystal from the blood of a still living lord. You saw the result. A dagger made from Discari's freshly shed blood, which I left for you in Canabris. As regards the use of the crystals, that is a discussion that would take time, a very long time. Someday I will finish my groundbreaking treatise on the transformation of Nahindrian crystals, although it is unlikely I will ever publish it.
So you figured out how to use these crystals and imbue living creatures with power.
Not just any creatures. Demons. And half-demons. The soul must have a stable connection with the Abyss in order for it to receive the power of the crystal. Experiments involving tieflings and mongrels failed because the voice of the Abyss was not strong enough within them.
Okay, but I'm not a demon.
I wasn't a demon either when I started. But there are always ways to circumvent, or even to override the laws of the universe. I changed myself by knitting my soul together with the essence of the Abyss. And I changed you. Do you remember the fits of rage that began shortly after Discari's attack on Canabris? This is how the second half of your soul manifested itself. Not yet fully aware. Not yet awakened. It's a pity you did not choose to let your demonic nature take hold. The result would have been most impressive. All those arrogant crusaders, those knights with their eyes ablaze, those pious priests. They have installed at the head of their magnificent army a scion of the Abyss, the creation of the architect of the world wound, whom they so revile.
Well, it's strange to see you here in Nocticula's palace. Who do you really serve? Discari, Baphomet, Nocticula?
Both. And neither. I have served both Discari and Baphomet, and not merely as the lowest in the pecking order. But I do not think you'll be surprised when I tell you that to me, both of these mighty lords are merely convenient temporary sources of power. And their time is almost at an end. But the Lady in Shadow is different. She is the preeminent ruler. Soon you will understand this for yourself.
Okay, Arilu's tone is indifferent, as she informs you of this, as if she were simply commenting on the weather rather than her obeisance before demon lords. Okay, well, my power's different from Jerebeth, Nulkineth, and other demons, though.
Yes, because I taught Xanther and the other servants of Baphomet and Discari the earliest version of this transformation ritual. I spent decades perfecting it until I obtained the power that I gave to you. Power in its most purified form, cleansed of the filth and chaos inherent within the original blood of the demon lords.
Okay.
Your power is as pure as thrice distilled water, but it resonates with other powerful sources of supernatural power, such as the Sword of Valor. And your power can change. You must have realized this already.
Yeah.
You have shaped my gift into a form that you yourself have chosen. You are seeking answers, trying to understand the crux of the matter. That is good.
Okay, so what do you want from me then?
Patience. Before we continue, I want you to receive your power.
Okay, so we have a choice. We can either take it or we can leave it. I don't know what's up here, and I don't know what she's playing at exactly. I mean, she obviously wants us to do something with this power for her. So the question then becomes, what would that be? We can't get rid of this scar until we close the world wound. And ultimately, she does serve Nocticula, and she thinks that Nocticula is going to be the one who wins out in the very end. So does that mean we refuse her? Won't eat out of your hand, even if it makes me weaker? That seems like the right thing. Number one, we've got the Hand of the Inheritor looking over our shoulder here, watching our next move. And I don't think he would approve if we took the power. And we do ultimately still need to get back to Galarian and finish this up and get that world wound closed so that all of this gets behind us. And question is, can we do that? Well, number one, would the extra power make that happen quicker? I think I'm going to refuse it. I think we've been doing fine without her handing us this before, as it is. And I think that at the point we're at, I mean, things are rolling along pretty well. We still have control over what we're doing. We don't, just automatically become evil or anything like that. So I think we're going to refuse the power. I'm not going to eat out of your hand, Arilu, even if it makes me weaker. You channel all your power into these words, and strangely, you feel a surge of power within you in response. You turn down what Arilu Vorlesh offered you, and your whole being embraces that choice. A wave of cold washes over your chest, and the open wound becomes smaller, as if your decision compelled it to shrink.
That effect. How unexpected. It deserves to be studied, but I will see to that later.
Arilu warily draws back her hand, and the swirl of glowing essence disappears.
Enough! Enough of this madness! I was blind. O Lady of Heaven, how blind I was. I saw holiness in the half-fiend's creation.
Oh, you gonna turn on me here now, Mr. Hand of the Inheritor?
But is it truly possible? Angelic light in a creature of darkness? Am I tricking myself into thinking that I have been deceived? Forgive me, champion. I must leave you.
Yeah, great.
I must collect myself. Pray. Reflect.
There's no life in the angel's
Find me in
voice.
the Nexus.
Okay, nice.
I want to help you close the world wound.
I'm skeptical. Didn't you open the world wound?
Watch and
Arilu's words are cut off by a quiet laugh. Sitting on the throne that was empty just a moment ago is none other than Nocticula, ruler of Lucianera and the Midnight Isles, a powerful demon lord, and the one they call Our Lady in Shadow. Her red lips curl into an ironic smile, and her large eyes observe you with keen interest.
You were about to say, we are going to close the world wound, weren't you, Arilu? I see no reason to continue deceiving this mortal. Now I am convinced that he is quite worthy of serving me. I will even reward him with a modicum of knowledge about the events in which he is about to take part.
Really?
Greetings to you, Our Lady in Shadow.
Urushle swiftly drops to one knee and bows her head. Oh, hello. Did you just turn on me, Urushle?
It's nice to see that even surrounded by mortals, you haven't forgotten who your mistress is, Urushle. You may rise.
I didn't mean to. I don't know why I did it.
Urushle stands up awkwardly and looks at Nocticula first, then at you with a stunned expression. Oh, so many questions. So many questions.
You are a guest here, mortal. A guest of the Lady in Shadow, the vanquisher of many a demon lord. I am the only one here who is entitled to demand answers. You may ask your questions when I allow you to do so. For now, remember your manners and greet me properly.
Okay, so different choices here. We can go, well, let's go the lawful path, I suppose. This is as neutral as we can probably be without going, you know, crazy. Or we can just do this. I don't know if that's properly necessarily. We'll do lawful path, that's fine.
Your manner does not lack courtesy. That is to be commended. I have had my eye on you for a very long time. You see, it was at my behest that Lady Vorlesh imbued you with such incredible powers. But I was curious to see your worth as an individual, not as Lady Vorlesh's creation. Thus, I decided to postpone our meeting and see how you'd fare in Alashanira, and whether or not you could win respect and power among those not so easily impressed by outstanding magical abilities. Well, you've passed my test adequately by proving that your character and your will are stronger than the Nahindrian powers Lady Vorlesh has vested in you.
You are wise, my lady. However, only those who have never known or forgotten what it is like to be mortal can so easily dismiss the importance of power. To be someone whose life is fragile and can be cut short at any moment, like a candle snuffed out by a gust of wind.
It is a shame your angel has left you, mortal. I would have liked to talk to him. I don't expect I will get another chance, as that celestial buffoon's days are numbered.
Ticula's tone is casual, but her eyes are intent, scrutinizing you. So, I mean, this is no surprise at all. Why do you think he's going to die?
Because he charged off all alone into the vastness of the abyss. An old friend awaits him there, the Echo of Discari. And the Echo has been anticipating this meeting for a long time.
So he said his magic deceived all eyes of all evil and spawned in the abyss, but not yours, apparently.
Perhaps you don't know everything about me yet, mortal. Perhaps you made the same mistake as many before you, and many who were more insightful and more powerful than you, by presuming to know what to expect from the Lady in Shadow.
Okay, well, tell me about the Echo.
He is a strange creature. A bespoke creation, so to speak. Long before the world wound was opened, Discari, that little cricket, was seeking a way to have some fun on Galarian and assert his influence there. One day, he decided to gather a few strong mortal followers, fuse them together into one being, and pump that being full of his own power, in the belief that something worthwhile would come of it. That is how the Echo came to be. To the great dismay of both the Echo and the Lord of Crickets, the Echo was greeted by Eridan, protector of humankind. Eridan gave the Echo such a thorough thrashing, the whole abyss thought him dead. And yet he was not. Cricket, the younger, is alive and well, though I cannot say the same for Eridan. but the Echo remembers his humiliation still. He hates anything and everything related to Eridan, especially his inheritor, Iomedae. Her heralds, her priests, her temples. He would hate Iomedae's pet pug, if she had one.
Okay. Why does he prey on the hand of the inheritor? Oh, she just explained that. We'll just say well, there might be more info here, so we'll grab it.
Envy, humiliation, ego. The usual playthings of little boys from all planes and realities. The Echoes suffered more than one defeat. First at Eridan's hand, then under the onslaught of the forces of heaven. Those routes taught him to attack his enemies by stealth, boldly and often, killing and crippling anyone close to the light-bringing goddess. Now, it seems, he has decided the time has come. The Herald of Iomedae himself is in the Abyss alone, without a retinue of lesser angels.
I see.
He's an interesting little bird, that angel. Before he became the Herald of Iomedae, he served Regathiel, the General of Vengeance. I've always found the fate of that Imperial Lord to be quite fascinating. Did you know that the father of the Upper Plains' top military leader was a devil from hell? Regathiel had to achieve many feats to redeem his unholy legacy in the eyes of the other Imperial Lords. But he did. A remarkable tale, is it not?
Well, that should be encouraging to Arushale. Your conversation is interrupted by a concerned-looking succubus who silently approaches Nocticula and then begins fervently whispering into her ear. Nocticula's expression turns hard and cold. As Nocticula ponders the new development, the messenger makes eyes at you playfully. You recognize those green eyes, except they were awash with pain when you last saw them, their owner bleeding out in the caverns of the Nexus. The succubus smiles slyly and gives you a wink.
Another island, another loss. Enough! I warned them that I would not stand for the desolation of my realm. They have not heeded me, and they will regret it. Go to your sisters and tell them to prepare.
Nocticula sends the green-eyed servant away and turns to face to you once again. It's another one of your people that you left in my way, huh? I know her.
Yes, you've already met Laulia, my talented assistant. I've heard she was very convincing at acting out her tragic death in the minds of the Nexus. As you can see, I've been watching you since your very first moments in the Abyss. And even a little earlier. I value servants such as Laulia. She stayed in character, even when you had decided to finish her off. Your merciful decision has left a lovely scar on her beautiful body. I have prepared a beautiful intrigue that will topple many of your enemies and seal the world wound forever, ending the threat to Galarian. And you have the chance to become part of that intrigue.
All right. Do we set up Ember here? Yeah, I think so. Let's do this.
Ember? So that's her then? Well, approach.
Cocking an eyebrow, Nocticula looks down on her.
Reading your pathetic prayers at me. You have some nerve addressing me with such nonsense. Did you think I would simply repent? Renounce my status as a demon lord? Do you have any idea what I had to do to acquire it? Wait, what is this?
Tears are rolling down Ember's cheeks as she sniffles noisily. She presses her maimed hands against her heart. She stares up at Nocticula. Her fragile form shudders from weeping. Aurilu wrinkles her nose in disdain. Why have you brought this simpleton here? This is Elushnira, not Nerosian. We don't give alms here.
I can't stand these noises. Do you think you're the first to try to move me with a display of tears? It only makes me angry. If you wish to speak, then wipe your nose and speak clearly.
I know what you had to do to others and to yourself. I'm so sorry. So sorry. If only I could ease your pain somehow. Calm your sorrows.
We'll back her up here. You should hear her out.
In my realm, I decide to whom I should listen and whom I should hang. Be quiet. You wanted me to hear the girl out? Then let her babble on until I tire of her. So, where were we? My pain? My sorrows? What nonsense are you talking? Don't tell me you pity me.
I'm so sorry. You're the most miserable soul I've ever seen. I've seen people burned alive. People being devoured by monsters. People burying their children. They were in pain. So much pain. But I've never seen anyone in as much pain as you.
After taking a trembly breath, Ember wipes the tears streaming down her face.
What is this saccharine drivel? What do you even know of me, Nat?
Sounds like she's getting under her skin.
I've seen your city. You were the one who built it. It is the way you wanted it to be. It holds all of your dreams, all of your heart, and everyone in this city is suffering. Everywhere, all the time, every minute. All who live here are hurting and scared. If these are its citizens, how miserable must its ruler feel?
And this is what you brought her to me for. You think this infantile sniveling is worthy of my attention?
I've seen truth of her wisdom more than once. Perhaps it would benefit you to listen to her as well.
As if I hadn't seen enough sanctimonious bores in my life. So, what do you suggest I do, preacher? Beg the good gods' forgiveness? Devote myself to serving a sword-swinging upstart, perchance? Or that old crone, the moon?
No. Gods can't help anyone. They're just like us mortals. Silly, frightened, clueless. You're almost a goddess yourself. You know better than anyone that no one can save you. No one except you.
Save me? From what exactly?
From yourself. From what you've done to yourself. From the city you've imprisoned yourself in. Listen! You are a queen, but you're the queen of pain and filth. Your realm is a realm of your own suffering. You're almost a goddess. You can do anything you want. So why won't you make yourself happy? You could become the Redeemer Queen.
Oh, the Redeemer Queen! That's new. Never in all my years have I heard anything like that. Well, child, enough joking. Get out of my sight. Or I'm afraid I might decide to keep you here forever. As my fool.
Do you think she took my words to heart?
I don't know. Probably not.
I suppose you're right. We'll see.
But we'll
what
say who
happens.
knows, because we don't want to crush Ember.
I told you to get out! I don't want to hear your squeaky voice again!
Well, let's see what else we got. Did Arilu really create me? She has certainly had a hand in your present state of existence. Lady Voralesh designed the World Wound, a magical phenomenon of unfathomable power. To seal it, we required a key that was just as strong and unique. Simply put, we required a champion, and she chose you. Both your powers and the wound on your chest were the result of her experiments when she infused your soul with the essence of the Abyss. Of course, you remember none of that. Everything was done in secret. Even the power granted to you was purified to the extent that it was possible, so that you would not guess its source ahead of time. In trial after trial, we watched your will be tempered, and when the time came, we started filling you with the energies of Nahindrian crystals. These energies are necessary for the task at hand. Everything that's happened to you was part of my intrigue. I was going to summon you and reveal the truth when the time was right. Instead, you followed your queen's orders and arrived here early. One can only hope that you are prepared to accept the truth. Everything has its price, says Arilu quickly. Your wound was, in essence, the flip side of all my experiments. There was a reason why we required a true champion, not merely a living tool whom we could fling into the flames of the world wound and close it like any lesser rift. I think you should know that. Nocticula makes a sudden gesture, cutting Arilu off. Don't be too hasty. We have burdened him with enough revelations for now. Give him time to become accustomed to the truth about himself. Then you can share all the details. So, what are you offering me? I'm offering you the chance to become my weapon. Your enemies are a thorn in my side as well as yours. What's more, I've never schemed against Galarian, nor have my warriors taken part in the conquest of your plane, at least not at my behest. There is no cause for enmity between us. And why do you want to close the wound exactly? When the world wound was opened, I was pleased. My realm was now connected to another plane. I wanted to make it into a crossroads of worlds, a place where demons, devils, and even angels could meet. The wound was a convenient path along which I could advance my ideas. But the Midnight Isles were not the only realm that had been linked to the Galarian through the wound. Discari and Baphomet now also had a way from their realms to your plane. Their servants flooded my islands and spread out across them like a plague of locusts, killing guests who were under my protection, questioning my rule. They were driven by their lust to conquer and enslave, whether on Galarian or in another abyssal realm. I was forced to shift my focus and express my discontent. Eventually, atop the bones of our servants, we reached an accord. I would let their armies pass and they would comply with my wishes while on my islands. Of course, the accord was a polite fiction. Both the Descarites and the Baphomets are attempting to amass their power and influence in Elutionera and to overthrow me. When they think I'm not watching, they break my taboos and revel in their own impudence. And worst of all, Lady Vorlesh told them about Nahindrian crystals. They realized what kind of powers the crystals hold, and now they are determined to mine every last deposit hidden within my islands. And once an island loses its crystals, it becomes nothing but flotsam, slowly sinking into the dark waters of Ishiar. With every lost island, my power is diminished. I could start a war and kill the plunderers, but a major conflict would hinder some of my other plans. So instead, I will teach my neighbors a lesson by orchestrating their ignominious defeat at the hands of a mortal. How do you plan? This is getting on, but how exactly do you plan to close the world wound? She rolls her eyes. It's a complicated magical process. You'll receive precise instructions once you've captured the Threshold Fortress on Galarian. There, at the exact spot where Lady Vorlesh opened the world wound, you will be able to close it. But first, you'll have to crush the Guardians of Threshold, and their forces are growing by the day. Hepzimira, Baphomet's daughter, is mining a large number of Nahindrian crystals in my realm. These crystals are her secret weapon. No army on Galarian can stand against them. You must stop Hepzimira. If you do not, your world will fall and my plans will suffer significant harm. At one time, I disclosed the secret of transformation to two servants of Baphomet and Discari, Xanther Vang and Mutasiphon. It was a well-calculated gambit, which bought us time and assured both Discari and Baphomet of my loyalty. Mutasiphon is Hepzimira's favorite. He oversees the transformation of her army. Hepzimira is currently on another island far from here. The route to that place is plagued by pirates, monsters, tempests, and other more terrifying dangers. Have you heard of the living bubbles of frozen time that swallow airships, and when the ships reach port, their crews discover they've been gone for hundreds of years? That is not the strangest occurrence you could encounter on your journey. I'm willing to provide you with a decent ship and experienced crew. If you kill Hepzimira, it will stop her sinking any more of my islands, but without giving Baphomet cause to declare war on me. Nocticula casts a sidelong glance at Rushle. Then again, I'm not offering you anything new, as you are already enjoying my favor, Commander. Your companion is a succubus, and I am the succubus queen. This demon follows you around only because I allow it. Tell me, Rushle, are you grateful that I am not forbidding you from traveling with the Commander and fighting against your own kind? The succubus reluctantly lowers her head. You are incredibly generous, Our Lady in Shadow. Sela winks at you. So what do you think, Commander? Personally, I'd rather take my chances rowing to this another island far from here in a rusty bucket than any deals with the Lady in Shadow. I'll steer. Okay, why is it so important to kill Hepzibah? You already went over this, but I don't have any choice here. Discari and Baphomet won't just stand there and watch you close the world wound. They'll send their armies after you, so you will need an army of your own. And that is something the Crusaders won't have for long. Hepzibah is mining more and more Nahindrian crystals to empower her forces when she attacks Galarian. If you don't stop her, the Crusader resistance will be crushed, and the ranks of demons pouring through the world wound into your world will multiply 100-fold. You were sent here to cut off the demon army's supply of Nahindrian crystals, weren't you? Well, that's exactly what you're going to accomplish. Okay. Well, we know of an airship. We'll consider your offer. And accept it, I'm sure. I respect your caution and won't force you into submission. We all stand to gain if you do my bidding of your own volition. A glimmer of approval dances in Nocticula's eyes. An interesting destiny lies before you, mortal. You will rise to great heights and play a part in events of titanic proportions. Many would give their life for a chance to tread such a path. Hepzibah visits Alushanira every now and then, but her true lair is far from here. She hides on the islands of Calafir to the northwest of my archipelago. There lies her secret fortress. In deep mines, her slaves dig Nahindrian crystals for the invading army she plans to bring to Galarian. I will give you its magnificent airship and an experienced crew to take you there. It will be a long and perilous journey. Take some time to prepare. Okay, it's getting way past up on time here, but we have a couple more things here. Do we want to inform her of a treason? I don't know if she cares. I mean, she knows everything that's going on. There's a passage that leads from your realm to the lair of the Echo Discari. I want to go there. Ah, so the Cricket's avatar has gnawed its way into my realm, has he? I can guess where he is. I received reports about unusual Descarite activity in the slums of the lower city. It won't be easy to break into the Echo's portal, but as a sign of my affection towards you, I will have my servants do it. Keep in mind, however, that such tampering is very difficult to conceal. When the portal is breached, the Echo will know. Okay, well, let's do this. Informer of treason. I'm assuming this is Shamira that we're talking about here. I don't really know exactly. Nocticula looks quite amused. Is that so? Who is it you've decided to inform on? And more importantly, how did you learn these traitors and how credible are these accusations? Let's not narc out Shamira necessarily. A friend of mine, the storyteller, has peered into the future. In his vision, Hepzibah was sending demons after you. The demons were strengthened by Nahindrian crystals. A hint of dangerous excitement creeps into her voice. You are a font of knowledge, my dear guest. Let's just say I'm not surprised by her appetites. The ambitions of that little brat of her, or her lecherous goat of a sire, were bound to surface sooner or later. But your warning will encourage me to keep a closer eye on her. You could have gone to Hepzibah with this and received a payment for your silence. Your foresight must not go unrewarded. We received a secret ingredient from that. And do we tell her about Shamira? I'm sure she knows about Shamira. This seems like a bad idea to me. Shamira is her... this seems like she doesn't know what her own underlings are doing if we tell her this. This is probably not good for us. But... yeah, that's it. That's all I got. Nocticula nods graciously. Alright, let's see more about you. Find a part for Culver. The guards much watch over the camp, the Nexus, and all who are residing there. Alright, well, think we're going to be... I mean, we got the Hand of the Inheritor there. We've got lots of people there. I don't think we need her to... she probably knows about it anyway, but I don't know if I trust her that much. So maybe we don't tell her that. We could... Well, I guess we're taking her airship, I guess. I think that we could have told her we're not interested, and we could have gone to the pilot that's in the tavern and gotten her to take us there. But let's go get her. I'm ready to take on Hepzibah. Nocticula nods to herself. Arilu, you are no longer needed here. Oh, you know what? I think I just messed up. I think we need to go do all that other stuff with the Echo Discari first, because I think this is taking us to the end. Oh, I think I just messed that up. As you will, my lady. Arilu vanishes, but you notice the look in her eyes, pensive and appraising. Nocticula casts a piercing glance at the spot where Arilu was a moment ago, then stops you with a commanding gesture. There's one more thing we must discuss. The Lexicon of Paradox, Lady Vorlesh's magical treatise that contains many secrets of the world wound. You and my servant, Lady Vorlesh, were just talking about the Lexicon of Paradox. For many years, it has remained split in half, harmless. But what was once divided can be made whole again. Who knows what power the book could impart to its owner? What if they expand the world wound even further or connect it to other planes? Not a chance. The Lexicon of Paradox has caused more than enough trouble already. You already possess the first half of the book. Find the other one and bring them both to me. I will reward you handsomely. Giving the book into my keeping will also protect Valerian from suffering a second world wound disaster. The Lexicon of Paradox will be much safer under my watchful eye than in your travel bags. Wouldn't you agree? I'll consider that. The reward will not disappoint you, I promise. This dangerous knowledge ought to be locked up securely. I won't keep you any longer. Okay. I still have some business. Okay, good. We have the option to leave, so I still have some business to take care of. All right, that's going to be that, guys. We're a bit over time here, but we are all set for the wrappings up of this act. So I think that things are going to get really interesting from here. So we're going to need to go to the Echo of Discari and take care of him. And then I think we can come back and go after Hepzibah and go from there. So probably 2 or 3 more episodes here. One for sure to take care of the Echo Discari. Might be more. I don't know how extensive that little piece of this is, but that's going to play out as it plays out. So that's fine. And then once we've done that, then the only thing we have left is this business with her. And so I think things are going to get really interesting. That's for sure. So this has been more of a things that are going on type of episode than any kind of action or fighting. I thought for sure we were going to get into a fight here, but wasn't the case. Lots of talking, lots of finding out what's going on. Finding out Valric was has an hindering crystal in him. That's interesting. So anyway, I really hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, do me a big favor, hit that like button, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button too. And we will see you guys next time when we go after the Echo of Discari. Thanks for watching.